Hey guys. So I want to share with you today a technique that I accidentally stumbled upon that is blowing my mind. So you've heard me say in the past that 2016 is a 9 universal year in numerology. And the number 9 is the archetype of the wise wizard, the humanitarian. It's world level love and regard. I have a 9 in my core chart, so you'd think that I'd be somewhat proficient in this number, but in the past I haven't been. I've been lucky enough to be hanging around very, very highly developed and highly trained 9s, studying them, interviewing them, and this is where I got this technique. By hanging out with 9s, I've realized that the way that they access heightened resource and incredible, deep, passionate love is this ability to let the world in. 9s are very broad minded. They have friends from all walks of life. They're impassioned by interacting with the world. And to be honest, this really was uncomfortable for me at first. Um, I used to be a very private and reserved person. I think I got into the habit of shutting myself off and hardening myself to the world. And I think we all do that to some degree, right? We think if I let the world in, I'm going to be less safe. If I let the world in, I'm going to have less love to devote to my chosen ones. But when I stumbled upon this technique, I began to realize that that wasn't true. I began to realize that the more that you can expand and open your heart to the world, you experience unreal amounts of passion and depth that you can share with your chosen ones. When your heart expands, there's a laughter and a camaraderie that fills the rooms of your house. Gifts show up at your door. You feel at home everywhere, anywhere, with anybody. It's like this incredible invincibility. You're safer than you've ever been before because you become the person that you most wished was in the world. So I started training in the number 9. And because of this, I've been having these incredible moments. Quite frankly, these are moments that I didn't think were possible without the use of some kind of drug. And I've had my fair share of drugged experiences when I was younger. But these experiences are what I would sort of call like slow motion, present moment, blissful experiences where everything goes soft. So I'm going to be sharing it with you. And it's so useful because if your heart is broken or you experience fear or scarcity or limitation, this technique and activating the number 9 will remind you that there are thousands of opportunities a day to feel love, to experience the prosperity of life, to witness the beauty of someone else, or to be witnessed yourself. So, I was at a pub with a friend a couple weeks ago when I had the first sort of real potent reward from this technique that I've been doing. I'm sitting outside at a fire pit, and suddenly, in that moment, I feel like everything I was observing turned to this slow motion poetry. It was like the memory was being branded in my flesh in a good way. The college students across on the other side of the fire, they were like courting and wooing each other. And I just reveled in the beauty of their lack of inhibition and their excitement and their youth. And to the right of me was this guitarist. I don't know where this guy came from. He was like a gift from God. He was strumming and singing just this liquid voice. And I could just feel the music just wash over and tingle my skin. The beer that I was holding, the aroma, the fizz in it, I could feel it. I could feel it in my hand. And my friend that I was with, his hand was on the chair, and I was just staring at the stitches and crevices of his skin, the topography of his hands, the strength and the vulnerability of it all together. And in this moment, I fell in love. And I don't mean a romantic love. I mean where my heart just swelled open and I could feel at home in any pair of eyes. I could feel at home observing any particle of matter, just witnessing the beauty that was in front of me. So here's how I generated this experience. Probably you could do this every morning if you want, but I do it 2 or 3 times a week. Before I go into the gym, because that's like 5:30 in the morning, I'm sitting in the car and I do the open-hearted exercise. And what it is you simply ask yourself, how open is my heart? So if you visualize it, is your heart like all the way open, like a welcome door, just letting people in? And when you let people in, you can feel other people, right? It's a two-way street. Or is it like halfway open? Or is it like closed shut? So I'll kind of assess it and I can always feel it. I can feel how hard or constricted I am. I can feel how open and welcoming I am. And depending on that, right, I'll activate my heart. I'll open it. So some of the ways that I do this are as I'm walking into the gym or as I'm going about my day, I visualize my heart opening. I will sometimes change my posture by opening up my chest, putting my shoulders back. And that in and of itself makes me feel open to the world. Sometimes I decide that I'm going to just love on 3 people. So I'll choose 3 people that I'm going to see, and I just love on them. And sometimes it's not like overt, like talking to them. It might just be choosing a person and witnessing what makes them beautiful, what makes them poetry. Another thing I do is I imagine the people that I interact with as children. So I imagine them as like their child self. And this is actually really fun to do because if you do it, especially like with older people, like elderly people, it's so much fun. And so those are some of the techniques that I use. But just by doing this throughout the day, when I start to notice myself go contracted, I start to feel hardened, I feel disconnected, I feel negative, I know that my heart has closed. And so I do this technique of how open is my heart? And if it's not open, what are some ways that I can open it? Okay? I know that this isn't easy, but the repercussions of doing this exercise are absolutely miraculous because what happens is when you suddenly open up yourself to the world, you open up yourself to broad resources. And you don't have to be scared anymore. You don't have to be scared, focused on one thing, isolated love, isolated business, isolated experiences of health. Suddenly you have 1,000, if not millions of opportunities a day to be able to experience the sensations that you truly, deeply desire. There's a big wide world out there, and the number 9 knows that there are a myriad of opportunities to interact with it and to love on it and to experience its beauty. So that is my video for the day. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and I'll also write a write-up in the description box below with the details of how to do the technique in case you want to do a printout of it, okay? I'll talk with you guys soon. Bye.